notice I have a list. So before I fucking do it in front of you.
Me llamo Miguel Diamante.
Quiero cantar por ti.
¿Cómo estás? Me llamo Jesse. I'm going to sing for you today.
Why does it sound like the Nacho Libre when he's performing in front of them?
Walking Blind is hosted by overly emotional dudes who overthink and overanalyze everything. Nothing the hosts say should be taken as medical advice or opinion. They're not professionals, and they're about to make that very clear. So just kick back and hang with them, as you've earned it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Walking Blind podcast, the show where we normalize checking in on the homies. I'm Mike. This is also Mike, and this is episode 50, the big 5-0. You know, we're really close to a year. Really close to a year's worth of episodes, because we started this not too long ago.
Do we know our start date?
It was sometime in November.
Was it November?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. But we cheated a little bit because the first 2 episodes of this show was you and Martin sitting down and talking, and we split them up into like 4 episodes essentially. Yeah. But we're on a year.
Dude, it's crazy.
It's wild. I apologize that we didn't get our makeup done in time today for this episode. I know that we looked so handsome and roguish last week. So now we're back to basics, back to this.
I wish I would have kept the mustache at least.
The mustache was good.
It was strong.
Did you notice on the cover art? I just got a clip of you applying your mustache. You gotta check it out. The splash page. Yeah. So episode 50, man, we're here. It's nice and stormy in SoCal, and by stormy I mean there's a light drizzle going on.
It's a very gentle drizzle.
But it is enough. It's rain.
Yeah.
You know. And so I almost washed my car yesterday, but thankfully I didn't.
Yeah, I noticed because did it kind of rain earlier, like in the weekend?
A little bit, like it was spotty here and there, or like at night you'd come outside and everything is wet.
Yeah, and I can see I was like, oh, I need to wash my car.
So speaking of washing my car, I have a story for you today. This is going to lead into the mental health check.
Okay.
But so today I did not go to work. Unfortunately, I was called in to do my civic duty, and I was doing jury duty at the San Bernardino courthouse. Whorehouse. One of the two, the same shit. And I have a couple things that I need to get off my chest. So I sat there playing some game that I downloaded off of an Instagram ad for basically all morning. I was in the jury selection room from 8 a.m. all the way through lunch, left for lunch, went back, sat in the jury waiting room again, only for the case to be dismissed mid-afternoon. We didn't even get to go up to the courtroom.
Oh, the case was dismissed.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're
They
done.
settled the case. So I didn't even make it to a courtroom. I didn't even make it to jury selection. I just sat there with like 60 people killing time, right? Now, you would think, oh, that's not that bad. You're just hanging out and chilling, whatever. No, I had to fucking sit there and listen to these 2 people who have never met before, who just met, decide that they want to talk about mental health and how they're experts and how they can spot people that are narcissists, and they can spot people that are murderers because you can tell by the look in their eyes. And you can, we're sitting in this room. We must be reserved for like the high priority criminal cases. That's what we're going in for. And the other girl was like, yeah, oh my God, I'm excited because, last time my sister got called in for jury duty, and the attorney had her crying on the witness stand. And I was like, girl, do you understand how being a juror works? Your sister wouldn't be on the witness stand. nor would she be made cry by an attorney. Anyway, so that was pet peeve number 1. Pet peeve number 2. Yeah, you don't understand. I'm so ready for this. I can see all the mental health issues from the start. I could just see it in their eyes. Do you know how many true crime documentaries that I've watched?
Oh gosh, expert. She's not.
Oh gosh. So I had to deal with that for about 3 hours while they're talking about this. And I tried putting my AirPods in. Unfortunately, one side died. And I still had to hear that conversation. I was upset. So then they gave us an hour and a half for lunch. So I'm like, cool, I can run some errands and get some food. So I go to Farmer Boys. And now normally if I'm in the car, I don't pull the Mike Perez move. I don't order ranch. This time I did.
Okay.
Because I was like, I got some time to kill. I'm going to probably park somewhere, you know. So I order the ranch and I order a sandwich. And then I have some Amazon returns. And I have some Walking Blind merch to ship out. Thank you, everybody who ordered shirts. So I go to drop shirt. So first I stop at Farmer Boys, order the food. Then I go to the post office, go to drop stuff off. And then I'm sitting there killing some time eating my food, right? I start driving. And as I'm driving, the ranch cup kind of slips and it's sliding down the chair, right? And I'm like, oh no, what do I do? How do I? So I try and pick up the paper that it's under. And then I hit a speed bump, ranch all over the passenger seat of the car. And then I like running out of time, I had to stop. And then I'm like, oh, there's no line in the UPS store. So I'm just going to leave this here for a second. Like, go and do all my Amazon returns. Go do that, come back. And I'm trying to wipe up ranch. Tell me why I didn't realize my phone was right underneath where that was. And my phone was just sitting in ranch. Oh. And then I tried to plug it in. It was like, there's liquid in the charging port. So I had to like sit there and try and clean all the ranch out of my phone. I was like, fucking Mike Perez. All I associate ranch with is you.
Hold on. First off, Mike Perez wouldn't have driven with an open ranch.
I was trying to multitask. I was trying to do a lot of things at once, man.
Dude, I hate, one of my pet peeves is eating and driving. Even if I'm a passenger, I don't like doing it.
Yeah. So I had to clean it up with all the napkins that I had. And then
did you suck the ranch out?
Actually, I twisted up a napkin and stuck it in there, and then did a couple like
video game,
the N64 thing,
yeah.
Or the Super Nintendo cartridge, and then so anyway, so I get back to the courthouse. There's no trash cans until you get into the courthouse area, so I had to walk with this drippy, wet brown bag of like ranch gunk, like, and people are just staring at me while I'm walking by. I'm like, it looks all gross. This is disgusting. Threw it away.
You're like, yes, this was in my body.
Yeah, this was in my body. I had to expel all of it, you know. So I had a day. But I did text you with a couple ideas that I had.
Some cool ideas.
Some cool information and some things that we're going to do for this show and for this podcast that actually don't really have anything to directly do with the show itself.
Right.
More of like an expansion of like the brand, if you will.
Yeah.
So there's some cool shit coming there. But anyways, that being said, jumping into the mental health check.
Wait, hold on before we get into the mental health check. So would you want to be selected as a juror?
You know what? I'll be completely honest. Every time I go into like jury duty, I always stress out that I'm gonna be picked, not because of like the time spent there. Like my job pays me for jury duty days, like, so I'm not really concerned with that. I just don't feel like somebody's fate should be in my hands. I'm not the, you know, like I don't know. And I'm so ADD that I know I'm going to miss a crucial fact in the case, right? Like I'm going to be listening. They're going to be like, and this is the biggest key piece of evidence. And then I'm going to be like looking at the fucking.
But you're going to still be focusing on like, there's a shit stain on the couch. Like who?
Yes. Yeah. Like they were showing this video where they were like talking about, you know, the juror selection. And they're like, you know, showing the jurors deliberating. And the one guy's like, but I don't know, you can't be in two places at once. And then somebody else was like, but there's actually an explanation for that. Because you see, if you were paying attention, you would have seen this and this. And I was like, I'd have totally missed that. Because I don't know what the fuck you're talking about anymore. Like, so I don't know. I don't feel like I should be the one to judge anybody, even if you lay out all the facts in front of me, right? Like I feel like I've been through a lot in life. I've gone through a lot of changes. I've grown up quite a bit. I've made also a lot of really stupid decisions, and I feel like if somebody had judged me at the time of those decisions, I'd have been like fucked. And I don't know, man. I was
about to say, I feel like he would be like fighting with his white side, and then his like hood side would come going out. Like, nah, dog, he didn't do it, dog. Nah, he's good.
Yeah,
You're like,
dog, we don't stitch on nobody out here, you know.
You're like, on one hand, there's street justice.
Yeah.
On the other hand, see, okay, so this is my thing, because I don't want to do it. I just don't want to do it. I think everything about it, I don't want to be part of it.
I don't. Yeah.
But I say that so like cavalier in the sense that there's people that want to do that. So let them go.
Yeah.
I'll pay a fee to be waived. So I don't have to like stress out all week if I have to go or not, if I be there, whatever. Like, wait, you didn't do the phone thing?
I did.
Oh, and it told you had to go
be
in.
there at 8:30.
Oh, fuck.
Like, fuck. All right.
Dang.
But and that's the thing, like there are people that want to be on these juries.
Yeah.
But I guess that like in a sense they don't want those people all the time, because you don't want somebody that's like super gung ho to like convict a felon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I mean, but that's why you have, what is it, the 12
yeah.
it comes down to. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like there's people that want to be there, that like the process of it and whatever. I just don't want to be there. I don't want to do it.
I also feel like, and this sounds shitty, but like, you don't want to be selected on a jury and then be like, oh, this dude kicked that lady's cat and now that lady wants restitution for it, you know? And I'm like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
too.
like, but then there's like a murder. Like I remember I got selected for a jury last time I went to jury duty. I was the alternate. And when they selected me, I was like, fuck, all right. And so what happened was they went through and then they asked me like, they're like, oh, what's your relationship with your mother? And I was like, what do you mean? They're like, what's your relationship with the woman that gave birth to you? I was like, I don't talk to her. And they're like, well, okay, how do you feel about her? And I was like, I don't know. I'm like pretty indifferent, you know? And then they were like, how do you feel about domestic violence? I was like, domestic violence sucks. It shouldn't happen. Like, that's fucked up, you know? And they're like, okay, we'd like to select him as the alternate. And I was like, fuck. and then so they selected us, and then they're like, okay, you guys can all go to lunch. So we all left for lunch. And then we came back. We're all sitting in the hallway of the courthouse. We were sitting in the hallway for an hour. They wouldn't let us back in the courtroom. And apparently the other party in the case, the lady, was walking around and sitting next to all the jurors and just talking about, oh, so what's going on in there? Like, you know what? And she fucked the whole case up, and they had declared it a mistrial, and they sent all of us home.
Wow.
So I got selected for a trial, but then they immediately called it a mistrial and then sent us all home. They had to select a brand new jury all over again.
Damn.
Because the lady was sitting there and she was sitting next to everybody talking about the stuff.
You know, Mike told her the most. Just like, yeah, no,
She didn't talk to me, and she never came by me, so I didn't even know who she was.
How did they even like let her be anywhere near you guys?
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't even know why she was allowed to be.
Yeah, to be even there like for that.
So yeah, so we didn't actually get to hear what the case was about. It was some sort of domestic violence, but the lady apparently was walking around like talking to a bunch of people, and like I was like, "What happened?" And the dude was like, there's this dude that was just sitting there, and he was like, "Oh man, I think I know what happened, but I'll explain when we get outside." It's all cryptic. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
right.
so we walked.
I would have been like, dude, by the time we get outside, I'm gonna leave.
Yeah, by the time we get out those doors, you got like
I don't
8
care.
seconds down those steps. But we walked out, and then he explained, like, yeah, this lady was walking around. Apparently, she was the other part of the case. And so they had to call it a mistrial. I was like, fuck, I didn't even know it. I was so in my own world, I didn't even notice this lady walking around and talking to everybody. So like in my head this time around, I was like, I got selected last time. Hopefully I don't get selected this time. And then finally they're like, yeah, like the case has reached a settlement, so you can all go home. And everybody's like, yay! And I was like, oh God. All right.
Dude. Yeah, I would have been cheering. I would have been high-fiving and cheering. Like, we can go.
And then like they're like, so everybody line up and give us your names. And then like everybody stood up and there's this long ass line wrapped. I was like, I just sat in my chair at my table. I just waited till everybody was gone. Then I got up.
I think the last time I was even at like in the actual courtroom, because I feel like every time I call and they don't call me in, and then it gets to Friday and it's like, oh, you served your whatever.
Yeah.
The one time I got to go in, it was kind of the lunch part was cool because when I was leaving, I bumped into like a dude I knew, like from another band, and so we were like, hey, what's up, man?
That's cool.
Want to go to Jack in the Box? All right. So we hung out, and then we kind of were like close enough to each other in the courtroom that we could like kind of like, I don't know, communicate,
Giggle.
yeah,
Giggle
yeah, like people watching.
Yeah.
I think we were just like, yeah, if we see, I forget what it was. There's something that we knew, like we looked at each other like. I don't know. We had some kind of game, but
yeah, I don't think I would want to be. Yeah, I feel like I don't feel like anybody's fate should be in my hands, right? Like I'd be that one hung juror that'd be like, I don't know.
I don't know. I think if I knew the case going in, like I don't know if that doesn't make any sense because then everybody would want to do the same thing. But it's like if it was interesting enough, or I felt like okay, like this is interesting, like I'll maybe it'd be part of it then. But I just the whole not knowing what I'm gonna be there for, like who's involved. I'm just like I don't want to be a part of this.
I remember when I was working at, I think it was when I was working at the law office, somebody was talking about jury duty and they were like, yeah, I always get out of it. And I was like, why? I like, how do you do this? You have to tell me your secrets. And he's like, oh, I just say some like borderline racist stuff every time they question me. And I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, because then you're biased and they release you. I was like, yeah, but you can't say racist shit. He's like, I mean, it's never anything like super bad. It'll just be like something
before cancel culture.
Yeah, very, very much before cancel culture. And he was like, it'll just be something like, like I'll just, like make a little laugh or a comment about, a certain race of people. I'm like, are you serious? Like and he'd be like, or I'll say like something bad about cops, and then they'll be like, okay, and I'm like, oh, okay, dude. Whatever. And then I've thought about it. Every time I go to jury duty, I'm like, all I got to do is say one racist thing.
Might just start singing NWA songs.
For me, I just wanted to make sure I was super on one side.
Yeah.
For mine, it was something to have to do. The reason I got dismissed was because it had something to do with drugs. I think the person was drugged, whoever was involved, and so they're asking us different questions about like what our thoughts on like substance abuse and things like that. I was like, oh, I'm in a band. I see this all the time. People do drugs.
Yeah. And that's fair. That's a fair statement.
Yeah. And like, I mean, like if they're asking me for reals, I'd have a different response.
Yeah.
But because I didn't want to fucking be there, I was just like, yeah, people do drugs. I see it all the time.
I talk of big game, but then I get in the courtroom and I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. I always like the race thing would be hilarious. Maybe not now, but couple years ago, it would have probably been hilarious.
Like, maybe if it's like a race thing against like your own race, like that make it like even funnier. Like, oh man, these fucking Filipinos, man.
Is he Peruvian? Is he? No, it's not at all. Is anyone involved Peruvian?
Okay, does he talk like this? Does he have that accent? Because I can't stand that. You never know, dude. You never know.
I'm sure we probably just said a bunch of offensive shit just in that little bird, but whatever.
Was it really offensive though? I don't know.
Whatever.
But anyways, going into the mental health check.
Mental health checks. Our mental health check. So we basically want to check in and see how we're doing for the week. I saw it. Also, by the way, I've been doing really well not looking at the screen today. I think people realize how hard it's been for me. The screen's right here.
Yeah.
And I see it. But anyway, I was talking here, then I felt it. I saw the camera come to me. So now I can look at my camera when I speak. Mental health check. It's we basically just check on each other for that week, see where we're at mentally, and and then hopefully we can talk about anything that's helping us. And if we're struggling, like maybe what are we doing or not doing to kind of keep us in that funk. So who wants to go first? I looked at you, Jesse, because you were shaking your head.
I'll go first. I feel like this is the first time in a very, 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 very long time that the time change fucked me up. Like this time change just like, I don't know, it kicked my ass.
Really?
I didn't realize that the
Dude,
time
it
had changed.
saved my life.
Did it? I didn't realize that the time had changed until like later in the day. And then I was just like it got towards the end of the day yesterday, and I was sitting on the couch, and I had Elliot with me. He was like hanging out right here, and then you could tell he was like starting to doze off. So I was like, all right, cool, get comfortable, dude. Like, you know. And then like the second that he knocked out, I was like, oh, dude, I'm really tired. And like I didn't know why. I went to sleep. On my bed, there was laundry all on half of the bed. I just scooted it over and fell asleep. I just completely knocked out with laundry on the side of the bed. I was just like, ugh. And I got up at 4 this morning because I also had laundry in the washing machine. I got up at 4 and put everything in the dryer, and then like clean up all this because I just knocked out so early that it was just, whatever. But yeah, for the first time, it messed me up. It saved your life.
It saved my life, but I'm like laughing, like smiling because last night I was tired and I didn't want to I did laundry.
Yeah.
I just got my main blanket and put a pillow. So,
you didn't put your sheets on your back?
Nothing. But yeah, it saved me just because like when I set my alarm, I do alarms like every 5 minutes kind of thing. But my main wake up alarm is my timer. I put a timer like a countdown almost, because it's a louder alarm. So I definitely wake up for that, and then I usually can get going. But the reason I have so many other little 5-minute things is because I have time markers. So like I should be done with my jump roping. Sorry, I'm like covered now. I should be done with like jump rope stuff by this time, and I should be in the shower by this time, and I should be, I don't know. So that's how I have it. But anyway, so my main one, so like when I went to bed, I was expecting to have it say 4 hours. So I'll have like 4 hours of sleep until my alarm goes off. And I can see, it tells you what time, it is, whatever. And so it was 5 hours. And I was like, oh, yes. I was like, yes, one extra little hour. Just because for me, my sleep is 6 hours. If I can do 6 hours, that's like I'm happy about that. Anything after that is like, a bonus, I guess.
Yeah.
And then anything before that, I'm kind of like 5 hours is like functional for me. 4 hours.
I feel like 4 is like my normal.
Is it?
Yeah.
I can function at 4. Anything below 4 though is again to like danger zone. But yeah. So it was nice. I was happy about that.
Yeah. Get a nice little extra hour.
I thought we weren't doing daylight savings for whatever reason this year.
What?
I don't know why. I don't think anyone's ever mentioned that around me, but I think in my mind, because I thought daylight savings was sooner for us. I thought it was like in September.
No.
In fall? Fall back?
This is fall now. Fall back. Spring forward, fall back.
Yeah, but I thought fall is like September 22nd.
Oh. I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know. I don't understand the rules for daylight savings time. I think it was just created so that we work longer.
Well, yeah, for wartime, military, yeah.
Like changing the so that you're working during.
Yeah, Jesse, ready to learn?
Ready for some facts?
There's some facts time? Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so the time change kind of fucked me up. And then like so we talked about last week, the weekend prior, I was sick as a dog. Mm-hmm. And then this like week I've just been dealing with like leftover like congestion or like a cough, or like today's the first day where I'm not like still like hacking up a fucking lung or anything like that. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it is. It's not COVID. Hasn't been COVID. But
you're just running yourself ragged.
Maybe. Yeah, that might be it. I'm hitting that point where, and I feel like I've talked about it, where there's less and less things going on. and there's more and more time to just like relax and chill.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nice. But that being said, probably about to take on another huge undertaking and project.
Yeah.
Just broke my the can and just dropped it in here, so I might swallow that later. But
You know that just within the last, I would say like maybe 2 years, I stopped doing that. I used to break it and drop it in.
why? Just something cool to do.
Just something I've always done. I think
Weird.
I don't know. I think for myself it's easier to like figure out which drink was mine.
I usually take it
I
off,
don't
but
know.
I don't drop it in.
I always break it, go in. I stopped doing it. I feel like I stopped doing it like pretty recently.
Something I didn't know about you.
I don't know.
Still learning together.
I'm happy I'm peeling these onions.
The little rainbow that goes over. Yeah, man. But other than that, I think I feel like I'm that type of person that has to stay busy.
Yeah.
Like I freak out if there's not something going on. But at the same time, it is kind of nice to just like do normal stuff. But yeah, I mean, other than that, man, like it's gotta keep busy. Gotta keep going. Keep on keeping on.
Funniest thing is when you were talking with Jake and you made some comment about like you don't have to be so whatever. Or what you said, and I was like, dude, what are you talking about? You're just as bad, man.
Oh, because we were talking about the barbershops and how, like, you know, when it comes to Jake and when it comes to Shipwreck, you know, regardless of the barbers that work there, regardless of, you know, the business and everything, when you look at those shops, like, there's no arguing, like, the meticulous detail that Jake puts into those shops, right? Like, you walk into those shops and they all look fucking sick, you know? And then, and I was telling Jake, I was like, man, you don't have to go so hard on like doing all this stuff. And Mike's looking at me like, you do the fucking same thing. Like you can't say shit. And I'm like, all right, well, that's fair. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, podcast is just gonna be in the
The kitchen table.
We're talking about just getting like a backdrop. Yeah, remember that?
Yep.
And
Still have the artwork for that backdrop too. It's probably gonna go on that wall.
sick. And now we're in this. I know you guys can't see it, but
You can see part of it.
it's nice.
It's a
Here it is.
little office back here, a little privacy back here. So how are you, man? How's your
Sure.
mental health?
It's been good. I mean, obviously, there's been a lot on my mind lately, but I think I'm trying not to let it scare me or overwhelm me. So as of right now, I feel like that's working. I don't know if it will. What do you guys?
I just want to get this because like you talk about your mentality, it might just sound fun.
No, I'm gonna tell you why in a second.
Oh, okay. I thought you guys were texting each other.
No.
I was like, what do you guys say? Say it to my face. But yeah, mentally, I feel good. Really good. Burner state. Okay, something that does kind of worry me though. I feel like, so I've actually started to kick up my jump rope stuff.
Yeah.
My diet has gone down, but my jump rope has gone up, and but I have the motivation of recording soon with Burner State,
Yeah.
and so I'm like, you
guys start this week, right?
yeah, Friday. And it's just like one of the things that I always know that if I have something, I'll work for it and I'll do it. Like I always do that. I always put in that work. But it's like if I don't have something, I don't have that motivation.
Yeah.
Like at least, and I think that sucks.
Yeah.
Bums me out. Like I'd like to think that, because as soon as when we stopped, when we played those shows, I still was trying to do the keto thing, but I was not doing it very well. And then I was doing jump rope pretty consistently, but not as hard, not as long.
The elevation mask.
Yeah. And so I was like kind of consistent with it, but now with knowing that I'm going recording, of like kicking it up even more, and like I wish I could just be in that zone.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, maybe I will.
Well, what if you use the motivation of we're going to be putting out a lot more videos on the Walking Blind YouTube channel
Yeah.
that are going to be kind of different types of content. So, might require us to actually get up and stand in front of cameras and stuff. So,
I was gonna say from now on, every episode I'm gonna start dropping the camera a little bit more.
Don't do that.
Dang.
We all saw my pants today.
I wish you guys could hear Mike's comment.
I have these sweatpants that I wore today, and because you guys don't see from the waist down. If you guys don't see from the waist down. But the crotch seam,
it is worn out.
it is worn out. Like these pants have been through quite a bit, and I had an explanation as to why. Let's just say that gray sweatpants season isn't for everybody. Okay.
That's for sure. We need a great fan.
Well, I mean, it's tough to find motivation for like, especially working out and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Especially when it's realistically, like, it's never been a huge thing in your life, right?
It's never been,
because for you, the way that you kept in shape was, one, touring, playing music, things like that, and then two was baseball.
Yeah.
Like playing sports and like being active or coaching or anything like that. Like you were, moving your body around, and you were at least like, staying active that way. Versus now, it's like you stand at the coffee shop, and then we go and we sit in front of computers and we edit, or we sit and we do the show, or we sit and do a bunch of other stuff. And it's like,
We sit and go out to eat.
yeah, we go out to eat and we sit, so like, it's a very like sedentary kind of lifestyle. So then, like, how do you find the motivation to stay in shape? Obviously I lost it for a while, but I'm kind of getting back on track with that. But
so something I did today, kind of embarrassing. So I got up, as I do, 4 a.m. and I did my jump rope, and I went to work. And when I showed up to work, I realized that I didn't have to be in until like 11.
you had the afternoon shift. So what'd you do? Get coffee and go back home?
I didn't even get coffee. I just went home. I just went home. But it was but at least I'm like, okay, well, I got my jump roping in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I'm just gonna do it tonight. But anyway, so yeah, I feel like mentally I've been doing pretty well. And so far, I think I'm just trying to be realistic about the things that that are in the future. I'm trying not to like stress out or freak out about it, and kind of just approach it that like there's things I'm gonna have to just like learn and grow from.
Yeah.
And just kind of be okay with that. And man, I wanna get back to like, I don't even if it's not keto, but just something like be healthier with my food.
Yeah. I think for me, it's more portion control than anything else. Like, hey, we don't need to order a triple cheeseburger or a Mac rib or, whatever. Like, we don't, it's just about like, I guess, better choices rather than like trying to be on a diet.
Like how we've gone to that place and like I still order fries with my burger.
So Jesse will go to Smoke and Fire. He'll get like the McRib side or whatever, like the burger, the smash burger that has a beef rib, and then like the Texas toast, right? And then he'll still order a side of fries and everything with it. When like, yeah, like you're not even gonna finish the burger. Why do you also order the fries? But I get it.
I
Like,
think I'm trying to
palate.
Yeah, I'm trying to break up the taste. I don't know.
But then again, that fry could be split between everybody.
Yeah,
But
and that burger could be.
yeah,
It can be split.
We should do
Everybody
that.
gets their individual ones.
yeah.
We should split the burger next time.
I actually felt good about. I just got the California smash burger and a side of mac and cheese, and I felt great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, do you need a
felt
box? You're like, nah. I was like,
dude.
oh shit. Well, I do.
Yeah, man. We just
Let's just go again this weekend, and then we'll work on portion control.
Dude, I'm down. That place is.
We'll go back and
roof.
practice eating less.
No, we gotta go to Cornerstone.
Yeah, we do got to go to Cornerstone.
We gotta go.
We have to go pick up the turkey.
Yeah.
Your turkey. And then the personal turkey that I got for myself.
Oh, you got one? No.
This is like I ordered a turkey for everybody, and then I also ordered a turkey for me to take home. Oh, yeah. Did you see? Okay, sorry. Are you done with your mental health check?
Yeah, I'm good.
That sounded like the most asshole thing to say, and I apologize. But I just thought of this. Did you see randomly there was a dude who decided to eat a rotisserie chicken a day for 40 days?
He's my fucking hero.
And it became like a spectacle. Like by day 40, he had a crowd watching him eat a rotisserie chicken live.
Not only a crowd, he put a red carpet in front of him, had the police there to do crowd control.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Just to eat a fucking chicken.
Awesome.
He came out on Barstool.
He just made a Twitter account and documented him eating a whole rotisserie chicken every day for 40 days. Which to me seems like you could accomplish a lot more than 40, right? But then again, you'd probably get tired of rotisserie chicken.
Dude,
but then again, you could get different flavors of rotisserie chicken. They got the lemon pepper, they got the original, they got...
Dude, okay.
I thought of it as shit.
I got tired of chicken just on keto.
True, yeah.
And I'm not even like that much, you know what I mean?
I don't know though, because I went for a year just basically eating chicken and broccoli and brown rice. And that was the most in shape I've ever been in my life. But
I feel like I can do the sacrifice for walking blind, and I can do this and go for the gold.
If you want to self-fund your chicken eating,
without a doubt.
Okay.
Dude, I'm gonna throw Martin under the bus. He doesn't. I don't think he listens.
I think he does listen.
Does he? Well, okay. So we this is we were on tour, and we were at a place that had one of those challenges, like a this massive burger, fries, and then like the drink. You have to do it right.
Like one of those man versus food type things.
Yeah. And so Martin was like, "Dude, I'll do that, but I can't pay for it." And in my mind, I'm like, motherfucker. This is when like early years touring, so we were broke. All of us were broke. Yeah. And in my mind, I'm like,
the $5 per diem days.
Yeah. I was like, dude. And so I'm like, he's just getting a free meal out of this because everyone's like, there's no way you can do it. He's like, yeah, I can. Yeah, I can. And I'm like, I know what he's doing. He's trying to get a free meal. I was like, I'll do it too. In my mind, I'm like, I'll do it too. Not just fucking casually eat, knowing that I'm gonna have fucking leftovers. Like, oh, I didn't do it. And so he's just like, yeah, I can totally do it. And then people, like the other band was getting all excited about it. And so they're like, all right, yeah, we'll throw in. Everyone will throw in. And then I'm like, yeah, but what if it doesn't finish? I think Christian also is like also kind of seeing it too. Yeah. And we're like, you guys are paying for him to eat like a shit ton of food, right? You guys know that. And so then I don't know how it got it. So then the rules started being added to it, and then people who were like, well, if I donate, okay, how about this? So if Martin does it, then he'll like be on a plaque, and and he'll have his food paid for. Yeah, which is just that was like a big deal.
Right.
But if he doesn't, then everyone who donates gets to slap his ass as hard as they can. I know that sounds a certain way. It's shenanigans, basically. Yeah. And so then it became a thing where like everyone's like, I'll throw $1 at this. so it was like, it went from just a few people to like a good amount of us. Yeah. So then,
how much was the challenge meal?
It was doable.
No, like price wise. Like if you didn't finish it, how much was?
Oh, it was like, I mean, back then it looked like $100, but it was like probably like $30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But still, yeah, back then.
Back then it was.
Yeah, you're living off of like $5.
Yeah. And so we all, myself included, I was like, well, fuck, I'll throw $1. And he got close, but
did he throw up?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Martin, for anyone who doesn't know, Martin's a bit of a puker.
Yeah. Martin used to puke always.
Yeah.
60% of the time he'd puke 100% of the time.
Yeah. It was that's right. He did get close. And then he just fucking, he destroyed the poor little bathroom. He destroyed it.
So little sidebar. The reason I was texting is I got a text from Karima, who's making us our after podcast dinner, right? And she said, "Can you warn me before you're coming inside? I'm singing at the top of my lungs, and I don't want to embarrass myself in front of another Adele lover." And I said, "Only if I can read this on the show." She said, "Deal." So that's why.
Dude, it's been a day of Adele. We talked about Adele earlier today.
Well, do we want to jump in?
What's up, Jesse?
What's up, Mike?
We want to jump into
I
questions?
just saw you pick up the thing, so.
No, Jesse's just used to this motion.
Because you have a holder.
You didn't get it.
I know. I wish people could see the mic that you use. Because we have one of these.
We do have one of these, but we have Jesse using the SF50.
The clown mic.
This is what Jesse uses.
Yeah, it has a stand too.
Yeah, this is Jesse's setup right here.
Like we have the this mic.
Well, I mean,
there.
for what it's worth, is just intended to
good.
be a little talkback mic where he just,
Yeah.
jumps in. He just bit his own lip right now. So, anyways,
Okay,
do
yeah.
you have questions?
We
Let's
do.
go.
We have a couple. All right. Let me just see if these are updated. Boom. All right. So, okay. Just for the name, I got to bring it a little bit
Hey,
closer.
you might need glasses.
I know. So our friend Ashley. Been a minute since we've heard from Ashley.
Which Ashley is this?
Ashley from Georgia, even though she lives in.
Oh, Ashby Rouse.
Yeah. It's Ross.
I before we jump into that, I apologize, Ashley Jean, for for messing up your question last week.
Oh.
I was looking at the podcast too, and I was like, damn, we're just dicks.
They're just assholes.
You know what's funny? When I was doing, if anyone hasn't noticed, I'm gonna start time stamping episodes,
Yeah,
and so I did that for the last one.
yeah.
And so
meticulous work.
Yeah, and so it was like, I have for when we do the questions, it has listener question 1, 2, 3, blah blah, and then it goes into like I forget what our side tangent was, but then it goes question 11 continued.
I'm so sorry that we cannot stay on topic for anything to save our lives.
All right. Well, Ashley's question is Black Panther 2 feelings. Wakanda Forever. So what are our feelings about it?
So I'm excited to see the movie because I want to see what they did with it.
Same.
But I was thinking about this today because are we watching it this week?
Yeah.
Is that happening?
Are you not on Ty's text?
I'm on Ty's text. I didn't know who all those numbers are.
I don't know. Were you on there, Jesse?
No.
Oh.
Well, we'll include you. So anyway, but I don't feel emotionally invested anymore. If I'm gonna watch it because that's what we do. We always watch these films, but I feel like I'm just not invested in like Shuri as Black Panther. And I understand,
Because she's a woman.
No,
I know. Kidding.
I'm gonna clip only that. And Mike Perez is gonna go viral.
Start talking about the Little Mermaid now.
No, I'm just not. You okay, big dog? I'm not invested just because I don't like we barely saw her
Yeah.
in the last movie. We didn't develop a connection with her. And then the same thing, are they introducing Ironheart
Yeah.
in this? We don't have any connection there either. And so I know we're going to go into this and then hopefully we'll get that connection that's there. But right now going into it, I kind of don't care. Right? I'm excited to see what they do with Namor and that whole world. I'm excited to see you know, how they pick up the pieces and recover after, you know, Chadwick Boseman's passing, which, you know, R.I.P. But like I'm not super invested, I guess. I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna watch it, and you know, I'm excited to see it. But, you know, I don't think I'm not as excited as going into the first one, right? Like, because remember after the first one, we saw that little glimpse of him in Civil War, and we're like, holy shit!
Yeah, he's like perfect casting,
dude. Like it was
Marvel's casting is so spot on, dude.
Yeah,
like regardless of what they do with the characters, the people playing the characters, I think they just do such a great job.
And then once again, I think I've fallen victim to like the theory and hype of like, it would be cool if they did this is so much cooler than what they're actually doing that I'm like, that's what I want to see, not this, you know.
Dude, I'm trying to get to a place. So I'm like excited for this. I'm like super curious because like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, because
like,
what I can see that. Like, what do you do now? Like, where do you go from here?
Like, how are you bringing in Namor?
Yeah,
into a movie that's not gonna have Chadwick Boseman, like the Black Panther.
Yeah,
you know. I wish, you know, whatever. Like, I don't lose sleep over it, but I think they should have recasted Chadwick Boseman because we recast Batman all the time, Superman all the time, everyone else. Like this is like such
The Witcher.
Yeah. You know, we just recast Ross General Ross for Thunderbolts. You know, and it's like it's such an important character that like why not recast him? But then, you know, but also it's just such a very, very unique situation for this. And I saw an interview with Ryan Coogler, is that his name?
Yeah.
And just basically like how like, you know, they didn't just lose the star of their movie, they lost a friend. Like these guys were all like tight.
Yeah.
You know. And so now I'm just kind of like, you know what? This is Marvel, and I imagine Ryan Coogler and the cast, they all had an opportunity to like do what they kind of wanted to do. I think if they had an opportunity to recast, they would have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, or at least they had that freedom to. I think I'm curious to see the story that they're gonna tell with what happened in real life.
Yeah, I think that so I know like in the comic books right now, like especially like when it comes to like Ironheart and things like that, like I know that that's what they're doing with the comics and that's the direction that they're moving in, right? But the thing that bums me out about this, and not just necessarily about this movie, about like all of the slated Marvel movies, is that like it took us years to develop the connection to the Avengers that we all had, right? Like it took a decade of building that, like, you know, that world, that universe, that team. And like, you know, I didn't give a shit about Thor for the first two movies. Right. I didn't care. And then once Thor became funny, I was like, oh, I like this, you know? Iron Man, like it, you know, set the stage for everything, you know? Guardians, nobody gave a fuck about the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then, you know, that movie came out and we're like,
got teary-eyed for a tree.
Yeah. And so like I think that like it's gonna be really hard for me to develop that connection again with all these new characters that they're going to be bringing in, right? Regardless if it's still somebody in the Black Panther mantle and somebody in the Iron Man suit, like, you know, it's still going to be hard to connect with those because we don't have a decade of connection, right? So like, am I going to still see the movies? Yeah, but like I don't come into it as stoked as I did and to coming into like Endgame or, you know, things like that.
Yeah, and this whole like newer phase of movies, like there's not a whole lot of like connectiveness to it.
Not that we know of. I think we had this conversation like before where it's like,
so there's going to be something that's going to connect all of them at some point, and we'll have that moment. Yeah.
There's going to be a time where we go, oh, that shit that didn't make sense to us in that movie makes sense now.
Yeah.
Or those characters make sense now, you know? So, like, you know, if it's gonna take another 10 years to build another like phase and you know whatever, like, dude, we're gonna be pushing 50
I know.
at this point, you know.
Well,
like,
dude, freaking, we haven't even had the X-Men yet.
yeah,
Like Marvel X-Men, not
Yeah.
Fox X-Men. I just, man, I cannot. I honestly think, I feel like we've talked about this before. I don't think I've had the excitement level, maybe since the first X-Men movie that came out. I saw that movie like 6 times in theater. Just because it was X-Men.
and then back when the Matrix leather was everywhere, so
Yeah.
all the X-Men were in Matrix leather.
But dude, and I was such a hater of like Hugh Jackman because I was like, what?
He's too tall.
Yeah, wasn't even as connected to like the goings of who's got cast, but I remember I think I saw like a news article or I think I saw something in a newspaper, Australian Broadway actor, and he's
Yeah.
like 6'3" or 6'4", and I remember just being like, oh,
Yeah.
ugh.
But then everybody used that Michael Keaton
Yeah.
analogy, like, whoa, that was Mr. Mom. You know, now he's one of our most iconic Batmans, you know?
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, so but my excitement still waits. Is now in Deadpool and Wolverine, Deadpool 3. I cannot wait. But that being said, feelings for this is I'm so curious.
yeah, did you read the interview that Cougar did where he talked about what it would have been? About how the Black
Yes.
Panther movie would have been,
Yeah.
you know, Chadwick Boseman's character figuring out where he belongs in the world that he's been gone from for 5 years.
Yeah.
Like he's basically recovering from, you know, the blip.
Yeah, from the blip, and he's brought all this destruction
Mm-hmm.
to his nation because that battle was in Wakanda, and he basically was just like, yeah, let's have it here.
Yeah. So yeah, it's and that to me, that concept, like they shouldn't have told me that concept
I know.
before I saw
Yeah.
the movie, because that made me want that movie even more
Yeah.
too. But I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what they do with it. And
Do we dare do predictions?
no, 'Cause we're always wrong.
I know, dude. So wrong. Yeah, I was like, I was really hoping for Doctor Doom, but I've already heard that that's not.
Yeah, I don't think so. So, well, yeah, that's how we feel. We'll let you know next week how it was.
So these are all.
We should get Ty on next week.
Oh, that'd be cool.
We should watch the movie and then get Ty on.
Yeah, it's funny. We were at a practice and we were talking about like, I think I can't remember if Daniel or Jeremy was just like, it's weird that Ty you didn't get a theater for this movie, and I was like, I made the obvious joke. Oh, cause, and Ty was like, no, he's like, I just can't cause I forget what his reasoning was.
Recording.
Oh, recording.
Yeah, he didn't think you guys were gonna be done.
Yeah, and then we were like, no, like we're starting early, like we're starting like really early, and he's like, oh well, shoot. Then he like got on his phone, and did it like right there. So yeah, we're gonna be going Friday night.
Did he get a theater?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't even responded to him. Been looking.
I think it's for. I'm not sure what time.
6:45.
6:45.
This Friday?
Mm-hmm. Jesse, you can be my +1.
Can we hold hands?
I was kidding. Of course we can. All right. Next question. Can you? I think she's asking about long distance. So long distance relationships, pros, cons.
Ooh, I'm not a fan. I just, if we're gonna get in depth into it, like my love languages are like quality time and physical touch, whatever. And so to me, thanks Jesse. To me, like it's both of those are really, really hard to accomplish. Like it's fucked up, but like for me, like if you're not around, it's like out of sight, out of mind type thing. Like yeah, we're in a relationship, but you're not around. I'm like, we're not spending time together. We're not doing things together, you know, and like you can only do so much. And I don't mean this in a dirty way. You can only do so much through a phone or through video chat, right? Like, you know, at that point you're just like, you know, all right.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's I think she's also asking what are the pros and cons that you'd see in it?
I think it depends on the situation, right?
Yeah.
Like I think if it's
And what's the distance? Are we talking about?
what's the distance in the time frame?
Yeah.
Like, is this something that has to happen? Like, you know, like let's say you're military and you're deployed, or you know, like you're in a situation where like we're moving. I have to finish out my job here, but you're starting your new thing there. You know, whatever. Like something like that. Like if it's out of necessity because you know we have to do it to lead to a better life together, then yeah, I guess like you know. It's something that can be done. As far as like just choosing like, yo, I met a girl in Australia and we're gonna date. That's tough, right? Like, you know, you don't know when you're gonna be able to visit each other. Like anything can happen. Passports might not go through, things like that. And then, so when it comes to pros and cons, I guess like the pros are you kind of get to know each other on a more I guess on like a deeper and emotional level because all you guys can do is really talk and like communicate your feelings and you know like talk about everything under the sun versus relationships when you guys are getting to know each other and you guys are together and you guys are with each other all the time. Like, you know, obviously you're gonna start doing like some freak things together, or you're gonna start, you know, like just being in each other's presence without talking type thing versus that's a lot harder to do when you're not in the room with somebody.
Yeah, you do like intentional about your
your communication has to be very, and then there has to be a lot of trust. There has to be a lot of trust, and there has to be a lot of you know, like you guys have to have the ability to just say like, okay, this is what it is, this is what we're doing. To me personally, you know, and this might just be my opinion, but like the cons kind of outweigh the pros, you know, like especially like if you deal with any type of insecurities or you deal with any type of, you know, like you get anxiety about things or you stress out about things, like you don't have somebody physically here with you to kind of help you work through that. And you know, it's tough when like you're feeling lonely and your significant other is even 100 miles away, you know, 50 miles away, whatever. Like it's not like you just hop in a car and go see somebody. You know, so I don't know. It's hard to say the pros and cons for me personally, because like it just depends on the situation.
Yeah,
I guess.
Too.
And, like if it's just like I said, I met a girl in Australia, she's dope, we're gonna date, but then there's no real defining what this is gonna be. Are you gonna move there? Am I gonna move here? What are, you know?
Yeah, when you see each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, towards the end of one of my relationships, I remember I was like doing the math, and within a year's time span during that relationship, I was gone for 8 months.
Yeah.
And so, but like I felt like we had like a good relationship. I felt like we made it work. The trust thing was actually not like an issue, I think, for either of us.
Her.
Yeah, not with her, not with me. Like it was, so which I think made it work. I think had that been a thing, it wouldn't have lasted.
She was also very, very secure in herself.
Yeah.
And very, very secure in the fact that of you guys' relationship.
Yeah.
Like, Mike's not gonna do any better than this.
That's funny. She's like she's very like real about when she says stuff. She's like, well, when I knew you liked me, it took you forever to do anything.
Yeah.
I was like, it's fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I'm a slow mover. But
so ladies out there, there's hope. Mike might like you.
I move slowly. But yeah, so with that, I mean, it wasn't ideal, but it was what, like, it had to be that,
Yeah.
you know. And I was actually very reluctant to like make it like official and do all that stuff. I remember it took a long time, but man, I don't know if I could do it again. I don't know if I'd be in that situation again, but I don't know if I could really. Like, it'd be difficult. It'd have to be different. Like the circumstances would be very different. I think long distance, as far as I'm also in a very different boat, I think, than you than you are. I'm more open to it, but it would have to be a lot of there had to be a lot of communication going into it, because I feel like to be in that situation, I'm kind of the same way too. Like I want to be with someone. I want to I want to spend time with them. And I think a lot of like I think, like any relationship, like a lot of, I like to do things with people. I like to experience things with them. And so, being with somebody that was long distance, I don't think I would entirely rule it out, but I think there'd have to be discussions and like figuring out like when we would see each other. And then,
especially now, like, it was one thing when we were like 20,
yeah,
and it was like, oh, this could be my future, or it could just be nothing, and now, not saying that like it's like, all right, now you just have to find the person you're gonna spend the rest of your life with, but at the same time, like it makes sense, right? Like I had this conversation with somebody recently, and they were saying like, oh well, like, are you looking for somebody that's gonna like benefit your future? And I was like, well, I mean, isn't that what you should be looking for anyways?
Yeah.
If it's gonna be somebody that you're gonna spend your life with, or you at least want to attempt to spend your life with, like, it needs to be somebody that's gonna, in some sort of way, like, also benefit you, right? Like this relationship is a two-way thing. Like, you guys should be able to complement each other and then grow together and move forward. Not just, it's not just one and one, So, looking at dating now, I think like, and that's part of why I was single for like such a long time. It was just like, well, this could be fun, but I don't see it being like a long-term thing, I guess. And I was, like, not to get like emotional, but I think this, like, I was very caught off guard by that one.
Yeah.
It like came out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, okay. And then like there was a long period of time where we were just talking, hanging out, just as friends, and it was just like, it's not going to be anything else. And then and then I was just, at one point, was just like, okay, I'm just it is what it is. And I think she even said, like, one of her friends checked her, was like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you passing up on this? Rachel. I'm gonna call out names.
shout out to Rachel.
And it was like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, and then so that was,
She literally would have said that in that way too.
That moment was like, oh yeah, you're right. And then like at that point in time, I had already like kind of checked out and been like, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna go do my own thing elsewhere. And then so like we wouldn't have gotten together if I'd have stayed true to my plan to not hang out with her, because I was like, nah, I'm just, it's been this long, I'm just gonna let it be. And then we ended up hanging out one night when I had told her like, nah, I don't feel like going out, whatever. And then I felt bad because she was like, well, I'm not gonna go by myself, so I'll just stay home. And I was like, oh, I feel bad. All right, I'll pick you up. She's like, for real? I was like, yeah, I'll pick you up. And then started from there. So
And then here we are. Gonna have potato tacos.
Potato taquitos. Yeah, so the long distance relationship thing, it's tough. I don't know if your current relationship is long distance, but I would like to know your side of this.
Yeah.
Because like if it's a situation where you're dating somebody long distance, it's hard for us to speak on it because we're not in it anymore, or we're not experiencing it right now.
Yeah.
Right? And all we see is kind of like either hindsight, like for you, hindsight, or for me, like I just never wanted to attempt it, just because I know that it wouldn't work for me.
Well, dude, when we stopped touring, I was like completely against it. I was like, I don't want to do that again. I don't want to be separated from anyone. I don't want to be gone. If I go somewhere, like I either want to either go there or have them come, but now my stance has softened. my stance has softened since then.
But I mean, even then, though, like you would still be in a like state of like, yeah, we could spend time getting to know each other from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, but when we're actually going to get together, like, okay, what's the plan now?
Yeah.
Like, what happens from here? Because you can only stay long distance for a certain amount of time before it's just like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
So
Pen pals.
yeah.
All right. Do you believe psychics are really psychic? Jesse says no.
This one is interesting because I feel like there are people that are kind of intuitive to things and can read people very well. I don't know that I believe that somebody can tell me my future. I don't know.
Yeah. So I have a very I believe it too. I don't believe anyone can tell me my future. I believe that. And so in that sense, no, I don't.
Yeah.
But I also, because I believe in God and higher powers, I also believe in other like spiritual principalities, and I believe that people are able to communicate to you things that maybe you're not supposed to know or like see, but I don't think there's any bearing on like future.
Gotcha.
But I think, yeah. So on a psychic thing, like a future type of thing, I don't.
What about psychics as far as like tarot reading or palm readings, things like that?
I mean, I don't. For me, no.
And then what about psychic in a sense of like they can communicate with spirits? Or
See that's where I believe people can do that, because I believe in like a spiritual realm. I believe in things like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah,
Jesse's a strong no over here, huh?
What are your thoughts on angels and demons, Jesse?
I'm gonna chime in on this very lightly because I have a very strong belief on this. I do believe in spiritual realm and everything like that. Communicating with your deceased loved ones and stuff like that, I have a strong no on it.
Yeah, me too.
Why?
Only because it's like somebody that has gone to a better place should stay there and not be touched or not be disturbed.
So you're talking in a sense of like calling out to,
like being able to communicate to the dead specifically.
And also, do you really know it's them?
Right.
That's fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
On the second thing with the tarot cards and all that stuff, it's like you're just opening up a door to something that you know nothing about, and you're trusting your hands in somebody that you barely even know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. For me, it's like with the whole rocks thing and stuff, that's a whole different thing. But I'm saying, like, when it comes down to you opening a whole realm that you don't even know nothing about, haven't studied up in it or anything like that. Like church stuff, I've seen it all. People talking in tongues, people doing everything like that. All right, cool, I get it. But you're in a safe space, per se, right? And when you're going to these people, they're just like, all right, you're paying for an hour. After an hour, you're on your own.
But I think that's kind of a common misconception about like tarot reading and palm reading and things like that. Like, right? Like you're not necessarily like with tarot cards, you're not opening a door in the same way that you are like with a Ouija board, right? The idea behind the tarot cards is that like it's your, like the way that your energy or whatever, you draw the cards and that kind of predicts, right?
My thing also is like, and it's I'm probably gonna get shit for this, but like for a tarot card and everything like that, my thought has always been, and you guys can talk shit on it or not, but like casinos can flip cards and play different things. Why can't they do that with tarot cards? Plays.
Oh, like someone it could be doing sleight of hand to give you
Right.
what the cards
right, as
are.
they're talking with you, they're shuffling cards and be like, okay, putting this card right here for her, this card right here for her.
I have actually never thought of that, Jesse.
Well,
Interesting.
yeah, there's the idea that, you know, you can place cards and anything like that, but like I guess we should probably get somebody on the show that actually like
No,
knows what they're talking about with stuff like this, because
but
like,
that's interesting about, because you could, in theory,
'Cause
Yeah.
I've
like,
seen-
manipulate the outcome of
and
cards.
This is gonna sound stupid, but I've seen like Netflix shows and stuff like that where they debunk stuff and they did that. And the guy was talking about, he was saying like a basic thing, and he's like, "You on TV, I'm gonna talk about your future or what you're going through," and he says it, but he's like, "What I'm basically saying is something that happens to everyone. I'm not giving you."
Yeah, well, I mean, that's,
yeah, but that's mentalism.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, I'm getting to the point where we're like, say me and you were talking, right?
Mhm.
I'm talking to you, but I'm saying keywords to bring stuff out of you,
Of course.
you know?
Yeah.
And in that sense, I haven't done anything that you paid for yet. But once I do, I got you where I want you. I have the card that you're gonna want to see. I'm gonna explain it to you in a whole different setting that I explained this to somebody else that got the same card as you, you know. And I'm gonna throw some smoke in the air and do something as to attract you. That's my thing. That's why I just leave it where it's at, you know.
Can I ask you an honest question? Why does it scare you?
It, like what I said in the beginning, I don't F with that world, you know, only because as a Latino and as a person that has gone to church and I did that, seeing like people put altars and like, you know, to death and they did that, and then seeing where their life ends up, because I've seen what happens when somebody, you know, praises something else or something like that, and I'm like, I don't want to get there. I don't want to see anything. You know, I don't want to, you know, as we say in California, I don't want to fuck around and find out. You know,
Yeah, I feel like that's
my viewpoint.
yeah,
You know?
and that's fair. I just feel like that a lot of that, or a lot of what people, you know, partly what you said, a lot of what people look at as far as like psychics, tarot reading, palm reading, you know, shit like that. Like a lot of it, like we don't have and that's why I say I want to get somebody on here that can actually talk about it. We don't have the knowledge or information to talk about it, right? Like I don't have enough information on the Bible to tell you what scripture is what, or what, you know, whatever, right? At the same time, I grew up in the church. I'm a very bad Adventist. Like I'm, you know, whatever. But so like, I think that like there's a lot of common misconceptions, and then like it's a lot of generalizations when it comes to that type of stuff too.
And then don't get me wrong too. Sometimes like, you know, I'm not talking shit on it or anything. I'm not gonna like on somebody's belief or something like that, because I've seen it happen where somebody goes to them to talk to a loved one and they get closure.
But see, no. But you keep going back to communicating with the dead.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with tarot readings or palm readings. So that's why I'm saying like it's a very broad and general thing, right? Like what you're talking about, yes, there's been history, and there's been like notoriously people that have like scammed a ton of people in there, and like they've you know how to work a crowd. Like even if you watch, there's the Guillermo del Toro movie that came out with Bradley Cooper, and I forget the name of it, but that's what it is. It's a carnival act. He's following the carnival, and they talk about mentalists, and they talk about like the codes that they would use, the way that they would talk about things, and that's how they would get these readings off of people, right? Like that, all that was like code, so that you could just like fuck with somebody.
It's like the movie Now You See Me. Right?
But what they would also say is that, like, you know, in that movie, they would go, for the people that come back afterwards, like, you tell them the truth. You tell them this is an act, because you don't want it fucking with their head as it moves forward, right? Now, that's not to say that there weren't con artists and there weren't people that were scamming people that really fucked with their heads. But then, like I was saying, like we can't broadly lump everything together, right? Like, and this is not me defending. I don't know shit about tarot, right?
Me too.
I don't know shit about anything,
like,
right?
Like I said, I don't go into that realm or whatever you guys want to call it. that's why I can't really speak on it, because I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. I don't know, because for me it's like, if I don't mess with it, I don't get the for every action you have consequences, right? So for me, like the tarot cards and everything like that, I never believed it, because as a kid you weren't supposed to go to those places,
So you're coming at it from the like.
I guess there's childhood stuff.
You're coming at it from like the raised in the church kind of like, and I use this word, I don't mean this is a negative way, but like that indoctrination of the church saying don't fucking deal with this, and that's just how it was for your whole life.
Well, right. For, like we talked about this with Halloween and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like I said, but like for even when that happened, when we heard those stuff and everything like that, from their point on, I'm like, okay, if that's what it is, if that's going on, even if it's can help me, even if it can change something, I still don't want to do it. I'd rather just let what happens, and we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
I believe in a sense of like, like one of the days that Martin and I went out and rode, we stopped at like this festival in Riverside, and there was like a lady that was reading tarot cards, and Martin had his read. And like a lot of it was just like a lot of generic, basic,
like generals.
Yeah, general. Like this is maybe there's a loved one that you've lost recently, things like that. And all of that. Like you're essentially fishing for information, right? Mm-hmm. But I think at the end of the day, when it came to that, like what she was telling him was all stuff that we've talked to him about, or we've all told him, right? But hearing it from somebody else that's outside of the picture kind of like helped lock it in, even if it's shit that we've said this a million times, right? And I think that when a lot of people go looking for stuff like this, like you have to take it with a grain of salt. Same as like fucking astrology and like all this shit. Like, yeah, there's a million reasons in my Sagittarius horoscope as to why I believe it should be true, because it's got all my traits, right? But at the same time, you can't base your life around this.
Right.
You can't base your decisions
because upbringings are completely different too.
Absolutely. Right. And so like, like you're approaching this, the way that you look at it is that like I was raised in the church. We were always taught it was bad. Right. I was raised in the church, but at the same time, my dad was like, explore, figure things out. Like you figure out what you believe and what you don't believe. And then, for me, like it was just, hey, be a good person, right? Like it doesn't matter what you fuck with. It doesn't matter what you get into.
And that's
be a good person.
That's my belief now. It's like I've always said, like the reason I get so bad mouth about church and everything is because I'm more of, hey, do what you want, do what you got to do, but just don't cause harm, and don't, just don't cause harm.
Yeah.
And but with this whole thing with the whole tarot cards and everything that, for me, it's like I have no interest in it. So therefore, if it's like saying like somebody came or into that, I'm gonna respect it, but I don't need my cards read. I don't need this. I don't need that. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Like if I haven't done it for a while, if I haven't done it since I was a kid or anything like that, I don't have an interest in like Halloween. I never did it since I was a kid. I'm not gonna do it now. I really don't. I'm not gonna go spend, money on something that I don't do.
Right. That's fair. Yeah. So I truly think as far as like psychics go, I think that there's kind of people that are more connected or more
intuitive
to like, kind of like, I believe that there's other realms other than the one that we are in, that we can hear and see and, whatever. I also believe that there are people, excuse me, there's people that are more intuitive and that, can connect with that. Whether it's a good thing or bad thing, I don't know. There's been a part of me that's always been like, maybe it'd be cool to like see if, all this bullshit that I'm doing in my life is going to pay off later on down the line, And then another part of me is like, oh, it's just going to be like, call me now, for your free reading, like the old Miss Cleo commercial.
Yeah.
So I've never like, I've had not professionally, I've had tarot cards read for me, and like, it's all just been very general stuff, but like, I don't know. I guess you can apply the same thing to like tarot, psychics, anything like this, the same way. And I know that this upsets people to say this, but you can apply it the same way that you do to religion, right? Like whether you believe in God or not, what it boils down to is a matter of faith, right? So if you have faith and you have that belief, if that gets you through your days and that helps you and it benefits your life to believe, like, and I'm saying this just like kind of like stepping back from everything, like to believe, hey, there's a God who created the earth and that looks after me and things like that. And that gets you from one day to the next, having that faith and that belief, then fuck yeah. Then that's great.
Yeah, a lot of things have very similar principles. Like a lot of people talk about. Like I remember when like The Secret was like a big thing.
Yeah.
Like I remember us looking into that. I remember thinking like, this is basically a different way of like how the Bible describes prayer.
Yeah.
Or
like manifesting.
Yeah. Like, I think I believe that like everyone has a God that they answer to, regardless of what it is and how they treat it. Like people treat it, nature's their God, or people treat, whatever it is. But like everyone always answers to something or someone, or they always want to pull from something in somewhere. And so,
I know, like I had said earlier in the episode, like I don't really believe in like manifestation and stuff like that. But, like if you step back and look at it in a sense of like what you put into this world is what you're going to get out of it, then in a sense, I understand that, right? Because, big thing that we always kind of harp on, like with anything is like, positivity, right? Like you put positivity out in the world, you're going to get positivity back. You put negativity out, that's what you're going to end up seeing and finding is negativity all the time. So, like, I guess when you say like manifestation and like, oh, I'm manifesting a 6-pack abs and, $1 million, like, I don't believe in that necessarily, but I do believe that what you put into the world is what you're going to get out of it.
I heard a quote, and it's persistence guarantees that results are inevitable. And I translate that to work.
Yeah.
You work, results are inevitable. Like something's going to happen if you put in the work. But if you just sit there and just hope.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see.
Hope that answers your question, kind of.
So next week, the psychic's coming in.
Next week.
What's the most, this is also from Ashley. What's the most, it's lower on the thing. It's hard to see. What's the most profound, life-changing thing someone has ever said to you?
If you ain't first, you're last.
Stay ready, you gotta be ready.
This is gonna sound dumb, but I really mean this. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good.
Deion Sanders. Right?
Yep.
Prime time?
Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I remember that. Most profound thing anyone's ever said to me? One of my pastors, and I don't think it had anything to do with music. I forget what the circumstance was, but he just said, "Well, why not you?" And I kind of took that into like everything. And so when I think about like, with like music and like, well, why can't we be a band that plays on stage? Why can't we play at the showcase?
Yeah.
Why not us? Why not me? Like, and I took that into like a lot of different things. And so I actually take that into coaching. Like, whenever our team's about to play like a team that, on paper is a lot better than us, and it's like, oh, well, there are guys who do this and that. It's like, well, like, why can't we? Like, why can't we be the team that does it? Or another thing I kind of live by too is, this like 9 out of 10 times this team will beat us. Why can't that one be today? That we win. Yeah. What if if we play them 100 times, they beat us 99 times out of 100? Why can't that one time be today? So I think that for a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Nice.
Actually, I had one chime in here. a buddy of mine once gave me this quote, and he goes, "Imagine you're on a beach and you hear the waves crash. You lift up your hands and you say stop. If the waves stop, congratulations, you're a god. But if they don't, then just sit down and shut up and realize how powerless you are. We all need help." That was for me like, all right, I can't always just do this on my own. I need someone to sometimes bring me out of it, to put me back into it. You know? Yeah.
Nice, I like that. All right. We're going from Jolka. And he says, imagine yourselves in your 50s. So, in like 11 years for me.
Oh, man. Yeah, I imagined it. What do you want to know?
Yeah. Got it.
Yeah. I would hope that as a 50-year-old, I am like still active and still like, you know.
Mike's dad.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, like Papa Perez.
We have to do make a lot of changes in our
A lot of
changes in our
changes
lives
between now and 50. I think that I guess I just don't ever want to lose like my drive for stuff.
Yeah.
You know, like I want to still, like, I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy doing shit like that, and I don't ever want to become like sedentary. You know. Hope I'm still hanging out with my friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my 50s, I hope I'm healthy. I just hope like I'm able to still do things, and you know, I hope that I'm always able to do things that I enjoy, but it doesn't always have to be the same capacity.
Yeah.
You know, I hope that like, you know, I hope that if I'm 70, I hope that I can at least do karaoke.
We're gonna be that SNL skit with the old man,
The punk band?
punk bands, at his daughter's wedding.
Fist fight in the parking lot. Fist fight. That's such a good skit,
This is such a good skit.
dude.
Daddy loves you.
Yeah. He's like, but he's holding the microphone. He's like, "This thing get heavier?" Oh, love it. This is from intern Harry. Where do you see yourselves and your band in 5 years?
5 years. Torch Coach will be playing at Crowley's. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't think that for me, and actually for anybody in torture culture, like that, this is a big commitment. You know, I think it's just more, it's fun for us, and like if it continues to be fun, we'll continue having fun with it.
I think we jumped in the time machine and we show up in 5 years. Do you think if you looked up torture culture doing shows, do you think that'd be a thing?
I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think that will all be determined in the next few months when we sit down and start writing a new record. Like that's going to be like the the determining factor. But then like everybody's, like Dan's busy, Steve's busy, I'm busy, Jake's busy. Like everybody, this was not intended to, we didn't intend to do what we've done. So,
Yeah.
Right. It's just supposed to be like throw a record out there and, we'll play some heavy music and then that's that, Never did I think like, oh, we'll just do a weekend run with NBR and we'll fucking, do this.
Yeah, I think NBR would.
Like, so, yeah. In 5 years, if Torture Culture is still playing, I'm sure it'll be rad,
Yeah.
But I don't think it's one of those things where it's like we would all have to decide to like, kind of like you guys did, like decide to like, okay, we're gonna push really hard for this, and I don't know if that like turns people off to the band or if that like bums people out, but like, like this was always meant to be like a fun side project, and,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, I don't know. I feel like with,
Well, you have 3 to talk about,
yeah.
so.
Yeah. 5 years. I think in 5 years, I'd like to think I'd still be doing all 3. in some capacity.
NBR for sure.
Yeah, NBR. I feel like NBR in a weird way. Did I tell you about the dream I had? And I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, the dream. But anyway.
Can you cut to his main camera, please? Let's hear about this dreamscape.
Maybe I was having their next reunion tour.
No, it was just like this weird. I was having this conversation with Martin, and it was in the dream. I understood that it was actually further along in the future. I don't know if it was 5 years, maybe like 2 years.
Yeah.
But we were both talking about how just like it's crazy that we're doing this again, and it made it seem like we were doing it full time.
Yeah.
And so I still don't think, even if like we all could, that we would want to do full time, but being more active is something that is like exciting to me.
Yeah.
Just because I think, and also with all the stuff going on, I feel like now more than ever, the ability to help and the ability to do what NBR was doing when we stopped is even like that's so much. It's like a much bigger scale.
Yeah.
And so, and that was a feeling that I had too. That it was like NBR, whatever NBR was doing, it was bigger, and I just felt like purpose-wise, it just felt bigger. So, which seems weird, man, because like when NBR was doing it, like we were pushing so hard. Everything we did was so hard.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for everything that we did during that time. But also, it's interesting that we're still here, and that I think we have more of an impact, or we'll have more of an impact moving forward, just based on the fact that I think our band is completely, like while we were doing it too, we were embracing the whole mental health side of it. But I think even more so now, like that is like for me, like it's advocacy. Like there's no show just to play a show.
Right.
Every show has to have a purpose. Every show will have something tied to it that will be, raising some kind of awareness.
Right.
So yeah, all three bands will be jamming.
Well, we got time for like one more, maybe two if it's quick.
Yeah.
So
This is the last one. What animal would you both want to fight? UFC rules. Can't be anything easy.
Who's this from?
I'm sorry. This is from intern Harry.
Okay, so what animal would we want to fight?
Mm-hmm.
UFC rules.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be easy.
What's UFC rule?
Yeah.
Can't be easy.
Oh, that sucks.
Those are wrenching things.
Mike's like a giraffe.
Oh, man, I guess because my first response was like, well, I'd want to punt this shit out of a possum.
Can't be easy. I feel like a possum would be a tough fight though.
Would it? Oh,
Rabbit?
I just couldn't I couldn't get myself to even touch it. I mean, if we're gonna go for just the fact that it's just ridiculous, fucking kangaroo.
I don't know, man. I saw that buff ass kangaroo that's like wandering around,
dude.
So you're getting fucked up.
I've had opportunity to feed kangaroos.
I remember you telling me that's when you realized that it could like,
dude,
annihilate.
Kick, like for real. I'm sure maybe if you talk to enough Australians, like a little female stepped on my foot, and she was just doing it. She was just elevating herself to get the like crackers that I had. When I felt how powerful her little foot was, like the big ones have to be able to like literally kick your head off or kick a hole through your fucking chest, dude. Like, yeah, they're no joke. But I don't know what animal.
You would fight a kangaroo? Like you would box a kangaroo?
I mean, if I had to.
UFC rules. They can kick.
I could grapple, even though I don't know how. I just grab on the neck.
I don't know. Okay, so like it can't be easy, right? So I can't say like a koala. But what if I say like 50 koalas?
Dude, 50 koalas would fuck you up, dude.
Fuck me up.
They're feisty.
You're coming at a chlamydia for sure.
Oh yeah, I know. And they all have chlamydia. Isn't it like all of them have chlamydia? Or something?
Dude, that's so funny. Oh, dude, I just thought of like being anywhere with like even more than just multiple possums.
Okay, so like if it can't be an easy fight, right? So like obviously we can't say something stupid like a bear because we're not going to win a UFC fight
or a gorilla.
Or a gorilla. No, gorilla will just pull your arms off.
Dude, you know what I think? Like we could probably have a chance with something like a leopard, like a cheetah. Sorry, a cheetah.
Cheetahs are fast.
Yeah, but not very big.
And
yeah, I guess
about cheetahs, they don't have claws or anything like that. So like,
they don't have claws.
they don't have claws. Like the cheetahs don't have claws.
I feel like they have that.
I feel like they have claws.
Maybe when they run, but
You want
they
to fact check
probably
yourself on this one?
Joe Rogan said it.
You want to fact check yourself on this one?
Joe Rogan also said we didn't go to the moon, and then now he says we did. So
You don't believe we went to the moon?
Okay, so maybe I'd fight something like, oh no, I wouldn't even want to fight a wolf. They can be like hundreds of pounds.
I think you have to do it to like your stature.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what in the animal kingdom is like my size that I could fight UFC style?
A panda.
A panda would fuck me up,
dude. Pandas? Are you kidding?
Are they violent in nature?
They snap bamboo.
They're huge bears. They look cuddly, but I bet if we wanted to fight you, okay, so like, there's it would have to be like some sort of big cat, right? Like a mountain lion. Like people take mountain lions.
Yeah.
Like
a smaller,
like a bobcat, like a lynx.
A lynx.
Okay, so yeah,
cheetahs have claws that are blunt, slightly curved, and only.
But they don't have retractable claws.
That's still a claw.
That's what he was saying. I took it in wrong context.
Thank you.
Sorry.
I was like, there's no way
I know.
it doesn't have claws. Yeah, I feel like the only chance would be because you can't fight a tiger.
No.
You can't fight a lion.
No.
Right? Maybe one of the smaller cats. You can't fight a wolf. Well, maybe you could.
I think you could. I think people have.
Wolves are like 175 pounds.
I know, but
then again, I'm 222 apparently. So, angel number.
I just googled what animal can you beat in a fight, and it says rats and house cats.
I think that's fair. Like, I don't think you can.
Yeah.
Like somebody asked the question, like, okay, if you had to every time you get in your car, you had to fight off a chicken, or you had to fight a lion once a year, which one would you choose?
I mean, chicken. Even though it scratches
every day, you got to fight the chicken.
Quick punt it, yeah. Punt and go.
And then we'd have the rotisserie chickens for Jesse's challenge. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think it would have to be some sort of like smallish cat.
Okay, here we go. So it says that one
dingo
that you can actually fight and have a chance with would be a chimpanzee.
No, they can rip your arms out of their socket.
They rip eyeballs and shit out too.
Yeah. They can do that, but you'll have a chance. It says.
Probably a small one, I guess.
He'd just throw shit right in my face, and then I'd be like, ah! And then by the time I get it out of my eyeballs, he's like tearing my face off.
Mike's like, dude, I said not to fight dirty.
Yeah, don't fight dirty.
Dude.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Like other than that, it's it's easy fights.
Yeah, I think wolves is probably like the more kind of intense.
Croc.
On land, might have a chance. In water,
So if you see rules, then you're on land.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if it gets you with that tail or wrong footing.
Yeah, but even if it just gets a hold of you.
Yeah, but then how would you just keep punching it? How do you squeeze it? Like, I don't even know how. I wouldn't even know how to like. They seem so awkward to me.
It's a dinosaur, dude.
Yeah.
Some guy says, I could definitely take an elephant.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, and on that,
I feel like in a life or death situation, I might be able to take a mountain lion.
yeah. I mean, at least fight.
Yeah.
I mean, even while it's like mauling me, at least.
Yeah.
There's that video of the guy who's getting like tracked down by the mountain lion. I'm like, dude, I would have picked up rocks.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
On that note,
Yeah, with that.
now that we've been humbled and know we can't fight anything in the animal kingdom, make sure you guys follow at Walking Blind Pod on everything. WalkingBlindPod at gmail.com if you want to send us some messages. Get some shirts. There's
shirts
only a
still
few
available.
left. Like I'm not even kidding about that. There's a box right in front of us. I think there's like 8 shirts left in various sizes.
Thank you,
So
guys.
we are gonna get some more merch in. We are looking at a couple different options. Some new shirts. Some potential coffee mugs.
Yeah.
The what we're trying to figure out is, would you guys rather have a coffee mug you can sip on at home or a travel mug? You let us know. But that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends about us. Have them come hang out with us every week as well. Check in on your homies.
Yeah. Give us feedback. Love to hear, like, especially when you watch an episode, like leave your comments. Like, I want to know, what are your pros and cons for relationship, long distance?
Mike's bad taste in jokes, that kind of thing. And on
Did I
that
have
note,
some bad ones?
we love you guys.
Peace.
Mike would definitely lose a fight to a raccoon.
I'd willingly. I'm like, I can't do this.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
The raccoon would be like, fight back. Fight back. It's like, I can't.
You guys are both crying while you're fighting each other. No, I don't want this.
I just want to love you.
I'm not going to fight back.
Okay, after
Peace.
Peace.